What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Getting Technical, episode 49. Here with Nick and Julian again.
What's up?
NBA playoffs are almost here. Got a lot of tight races in the East and the West for the first time in a while. So, how you guys doing?
We're good, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah?
Chilling tonight. Yes, sir.
Post-work?
Yeah.
Post-work, Jules?
Yeah, you know.
It's a bad day for Knicks fans
I'm
everywhere.
dead inside.
Julius Randle, out for the year. Gonna have surgery on that shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And they said 5 months he'll be reevaluated. I think there's a good chance that he might not be like fully ready to come back until maybe Christmas, which is just a really
Yeah, I mean,
brutal thing for the
sure,
Knicks.
if we're being conservative, but I just definitely not what I was expecting to wake up to this morning or see when I was at work, is seeing him need to get the surgery and having a setback 5 weeks ago. I feel like lied to by Tibbs, who said that he was cleared for contact for and he was doing well and everything. There was no setbacks.
When
or
was
anything.
that though? Because he hasn't said it in a while that he was cleared for contact. He's not been cleared for contact. Has that not been the thing for the past 3
No,
weeks?
I think Tibbs was saying that he was there was no setbacks, or there was the stuff he kept saying in press conferences was that it was like all on the up and up.
Well, there was, but not recently. He has not been. They were saying he was like not cleared for contact for the past
I'm pretty sure
2 weeks.
from recent one, he said there was no big setbacks.
I'm pretty sure that they just didn't know, to be honest. How are you? Wait, are you? I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
That Tibbs has known.
He has not been cleared for contact. There was a setback. They said that. This was reported weeks ago.
Let me see.
Here we go. This dude Nick has not done any of his homework.
Listen, I think the question we have to start asking is who are the Knicks going to lose to in the first round? It's as simple as that now. Because
Are the Knicks going to make the first round? They're what? They're like. Let me look at the.
All right. Let's not. Okay, I'm not going to get.
Let's get
distracted.
Let's get realistic here.
No, because
And
last time
I'm trying to be an optimistic Knicks fan, but let's
No,
get
you're not.
realistic.
no, because
The Knicks are the 5th seed right now. They're 44-31. They are currently losing to the Kings as we're recording this.
by 8 points in the third quarter of
The
NBA
Pacers
game.
are the 7th seed, and they're 2 games back.
Yeah, and their best player scores 13 points a game.
But they've still been playing well. They've been playing better.
Sure.
Like, I think realistically, the Knicks will probably end up with the 6th seed.
Okay.
I don't think they hold off the Heat. I think the Heat
I don't
are at
trust the
full
Heat.
health. I don't trust the Heat either, but the Heat are at full health. The Knicks, we could just see, like, every game, like, you can just see how tired these guys are. You can see it's weighing on Brunson, like, the offensive burden that he's carrying. Like,
Yes.
it's clear that right now, like, these guys are exhausted. They're playing 40 minutes a game. Guys who are supposed to come back have not come back, and it's just, like, I think there's got to be frustration as well, right? And
Yeah,
you could see in that Josh Hart, like, post-game interview the other night where he's like, at this point, we just have to assume we've got because there was all this hope. They're like, oh, OG's going to come back. Mitch is going to come back. Then OG comes back. He immediately gets hurt. Then Mitch Robinson comes back. Second game, he sprains his ankle. He's back.
Mm-hmm.
But with him, I mean, it's minute by minute. He could easily roll his ankle. Like,
Yeah,
again,
you
if
hate
something
on
happens.
you hate on Mitch way too much, but
I just
that's
the guy is just never available to play. And he had a great first round in the playoffs at like last year, which was awesome. But then he was terrible in the second round, and then the report was he was injured again. And it's like, I understand injuries, you can't control them, and I know that that's not what he wants, obviously. But it's, at the end of the day, like, you need guys who are going to be able to play.
sure. But I think Mitch has, when he's been called on to play, he has definitely done.
is he hurt right now?
He just got
Yeah,
back.
he just got back from he tweaked his ankle after like 2 or 3 games. Sure. Like, when you compare everybody else to the durability of all these Tibbs players, like, fine. Like I don't know. Like we're talking about, like I just mentioned it to you the other day or earlier. SGA has missed like 6 out of 7 games, and like the one game he played was against the Knicks at MSG when they fucking beat us. But like, nobody talks about his durability and him having a quad injury at this stage of the season. But listen, I get it. Mitch Robinson tweaks his ankle injury after being out for 3 months with an ankle injury that we thought he was done for the season. Like I'm not gonna cry over him tweaking an ankle. And
I'm not crying. I'm just saying.
you're crying because he also misses free throws.
The facts of the fact is, like, certain guys you just have to move on from. The Knicks have done it with everyone else. They moved on. They moved on from RJ. They moved on from Grimes. They moved on from Quickly. They've gotten rid of all of these guys that we all had hope for, and at the end of the day, they just weren't as good as we kind of thought they were. As homegrown players, us fans, like we're gonna turn our shoulders to their flaws, and it's like at this point, like I've never understood this. If you watch these college games of March Madness, the amount of missed free throws is absolutely crazy.
Oh my god!
But you watch the Knicks.
Yes,
these are professionals. They get paid millions and millions of dollars. They can't make free throws.
Yes.
The Knicks went 3 for 7 from the free throw line down the stretch of that game in OKC. That's why they lost. It wasn't because Jalen Brunson. I mean, it wasn't because Jalen Brunson didn't get that and one call. It wasn't because Shea hit that shot. It's because you can't make free throws.
My brother
NBA
in Christ.
team. What? NBA team cannot make free throws.
On the day of our second best player and the only other scoring option we have besides Jalen Brunson or a kick-out three to Dante DiVincenzo is out. You're talking about trimming the fat around the Knicks roster and getting rid of Mitch Robinson because he can't shoot free throws?
I mean, that's not
the biggest issue we have. Mitch Robinson's free throw woes.
I'm just saying.
The problem we have. I didn't bring up Mitch in this podcast. You brought Mitch up. The problem we have
what I said before.
is that we have Precious Achachua. We have the big
Yo,
sneeze.
bless you, bro. Jeez.
We have fucking Josh Hart and Deuce McBride catching the ball with 9 seconds to go on the shot clock, not knowing what the fuck to do because they have nobody else in the court because Jalen Brunson has to breathe for 3 minutes. That's what the problem is. It's not Mitch Robinson not shooting free throws.
I'm just saying, that's just something that I think the Knicks should address in the offseason.
Of course, in the offseason.
In the offseason, it needs to be addressed.
That's not to help us right now, which is why, like I said, Julian, as the resident Suns fan, Mitch, Julius Randle, and 4 first-round picks for your boy Devin Booker after you guys prove that you guys can't get past the Nuggets or can't get past the Mavericks. You can pick whichever team you can't get past, but you're not going to get past either.
We've literally beat the Nuggets the last 2 times we played them. What are you talking about?
Yeah, cool.
In the playoffs?
No.
I have listen. I am full blown after this Randall injury onto the 2024-25 off season.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, the Knicks aren't doing anything, so
yeah, probably
not. Not doing anything next year either.
I mean, we're down by 6. Now they just hit the biggest shot of the game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, they're
still down 6.
It's just classic New York sports. We have nice things for a month or two,
yes,
and then something goes wrong. Whether it's the Jets with Aaron Rodgers going down on the 4th play of the season. The Mets constantly, everyone's injured. The Yankees, they're always injured as well.
I don't know what you're talking about. The Yankees are great.
Yeah, we're 7 games into the season. Don't worry. You'll be calling for Judge to get DFA'd in 2 weeks.
Literally.
I mean,
you literally texted the group this week saying, "Yo, is Judge not the best player in the Yankees anymore?"
Bro, he's not. Bro. What are you talking about? He's not.
Honestly,
this ain't a
but
podcast,
did you see Aaron Judge sign with Prime?
No, I didn't
that could be the start of his downfall.
Yeah, I think.
Bro, Prime's a good drink.
No,
what are you talking about?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Take it from the pharmacist.
Bro,
yeah, you know what? Prime is really good for giving people probably fucking diabetes and getting them into the pharmacy.
Prime is
it probably is great for that. More pills if you drink more fucking Prime. But I mean, I think we should probably just start talking about some of the actual good teams. What about the Mavericks? Because it's a team that has a lot of ties to the Knicks recently.
Vibes are immaculate.
Obviously, with Jalen Brunson coming over there. And I don't know if you guys saw, him and Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic were both the players of the month in March. And
yeah.
It's impressive the way the Mavs have drafted. I mean,
as
of late, they haven't had that high pick. But that one draft, the 2018 draft, getting Luka and Jalen Brunson in the same draft is actually insane.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Luka was you had 3 people to trip over themselves to get for Luka to end up there. The Hawks fumbled the bag. The Kings fumbled the bag.
Suns.
Yeah, the Suns.
Who the Suns? Oh,
I'll never forget when we were in the chat and I was saying to Julian, "Yo, Luka's the guy for you guys." He goes, "No, bro, like DeAndre Ayton, bro. Need DeAndre Ayton."
Yo, DeAndre Ayton can't show up to work because of some snow.
I think I do remember you actually saying that.
It wasn't my original thought. I was listening to like Bill Simmons and like Kevin O'Connor, and they were like, "Luka's the guy. Luka's the guy." I was like, "He must be the guy."
Yeah.
But I like. Sure, yeah, the Mavericks have drafted well. I mean, I think they really got lucky because on the flip side of that, the past couple years when they only had dudes that they drafted and homegrown guys, it wasn't pretty, and they were crying, and Luka was crying for help. Now,
yeah, and look, don't get it twisted. Like, I still think the Mavs are probably a first round exit. Right now, they'd be matched up against the Clippers. The Clippers have not played well as of late, but I don't know. Playoff Kawhi. I'd probably lean towards playoff Kawhi.
Dude. It's Luka.
But it's just, can the rest of those guys show up? And right now, everything is clicking for them. I was watching them play the Kings the other night, and they could not miss a shot.
I don't understand why people just don't think Luka can just take over a game like that.
He can, but let's not pretend like the Clippers don't have a loaded roster.
Yeah, but
in theory, and they've been really good this year. They've struggled recently.
I thought you meant can the rest of the guys show up, or you're talking about the guys on the Clippers? I thought you were referring to Tim Hardaway Jr. and all the guys on the Mavericks, but you were.
I was kind of talking about both. It's kind of like we know that Luka and Kawhi, if they're both healthy, they're both going to show up. Luka's going to
but they're not going to cancel each other out.
No, but Luka's going to play
be better than Kawhi.
Elite offense. Kawhi's going to play very good offense with elite defense.
Yeah, sure.
Can Kyrie, can Paul George, can James Harden, who is going to step up? Because it is going to come down to those other guys. If Luka is Luka and Kyrie's playing the way he's playing, that Mavs team could make a Western Conference Finals run.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They're that good. When they're clicking
they
on
can't. They can't make a Western Conference Finals run.
Luka is going to average 35 to 40 points a game in the playoffs.
I don't think
that is a fact. He's going to average 35, 12, and 8.
Nah.
If Kyrie can average 28 points a game, show up, shoot on high efficiency, distribute well, especially when Luka's going to take that rest, and those other guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford can give good minutes and support.
That man don't miss.
They can make a run.
I'm not Daniel Gafford, remember he went for that streak? I don't think he ended up getting it.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it. But I could see the Mavs beating the Suns, 100%.
Without a doubt.
Does Luka owns the Phoenix Suns?
He doesn't. Because
he is Devin Booker's father.
He's 7-12 against the Suns. What are you talking about?
Guess what he did to your amazing season? Him and Jalen Brunson take you bums home.
And then he was out the next round.
All right. Then. Doesn't matter. They still beat the Suns.
Okay.
Didn't do anything. Beat the Suns in Phoenix.
Yeah, no, that game 6 was bad. Game 7 was bad, but they won't beat us this year. KD and Booker are starting to find a rhythm.
Are they?
Bradley Beal just got promoted to point guard, so now
Bradley Beal just got promoted to point
Bradley Beal started passing the ball more, is what he said.
No, the only teams I fear in the Western Conference right now, I do fear OKC.
Oh well, guess what? That's amazing because that's your first round matchup as of
I know. I fear them. I'd be scared of them, and then the Nuggets, of course. But other than that,
you got to watch out for the Rockets. Y'all suck against the Rockets.
Rockets are not even making the play-in. What are you talking about? And last time we were on here, you guys said the Western Conference was not good at all. You really we're done with the West. We're done with this. What I heard from Ross.
And then the Rockets.
Maybe that was the same podcast episode where you said Tyrese Maxey was a top 10 player in the league.
That was like 2 years ago.
Bro. That was the first one.
But no, you're right. The Rockets have gone off and won the last 10 games since we made that.
Still out of the play-in.
And they're still out of the play-in. Yeah, they're one game over 500. No, they're 3 games out. They're not going to make it.
Bro,
the Warriors are playing really good. The Warriors have been they're on the winning streak.
The Warriors are better now.
No, but look, we can argue Eastern Conference versus Western Conference all day, but at the end of the day, both conferences are, I think, as good as they've ever been, and it's just just a reflection of how much talent's in the NBA right now. Because right now, the 10 seed in the East is 36-40, which does not prove my point at all. But the 8 seed, the 76ers, are 41-35.
What, the Bulls, the 10 seed, or
the Bulls are the 9 seed, the Hawks are the 10 seed. They both have the same record. But if you go back 8 years ago, the 8 seed and the 7 seed in the East was probably 36-4.
Yeah, you're right.
Now there's a legitimate 8 teams that are respectable because all 8 of those teams can beat anyone on any given night.
Yeah, the
Then
Bulls
you
are
go-
feisty this year.
For sure.
Kobe White's been having an insane year.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I gave you guys shit for DeRozan last podcast, I think he's
been playing well.
he's always a threat in the playoffs.
But and then you go to the Western Conference, it's like the 11 seed Rockets are above 500. Then you go to the Warriors at the 10, they're 41-34. So realistically, there's like 19 like very respectable teams in the NBA right now, which has got to be the most there's ever been.
Which is welcome the Las Vegas and Seattle team when expansion hits. Do you think that if those two are the projected teams, does the Eastern Conference get the Pelicans then?
Wait, so it's gonna be Seattle and
They're saying
Vegas?
Seattle and Vegas.
Yeah, it would be like the Pelicans or like I don't know who else is on the East Coast that's not in the West.
I mean, that's really the Pelicans and the Grizzlies.
I guess the Grizzlies.
I think you could put you could put the Grizzlies in the East.
You probably could in something but regardless, yes, I think that's a.
You could also you could put a Texas team if you really wanted to.
Yeah, because the Cowboys, but
in the NFC East, yeah, somehow. But
yeah, if you put the Mavericks in there or you put the Rockets, like I don't think it would be the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, but I think that you would probably have to just travel wise.
I mean, they're central.
Who?
Isn't Texas Central Time?
Yeah, but is it? But wouldn't
only 1 hour?
Wouldn't Memphis and New Orleans be much closer? I think. I mean,
If I was looking at a map, I could tell you. I can't
like Memphis. You could tell me Memphis is right above Texas, which is, I don't think it is. But
No
you could tell me,
idea, bro.
and I would agree
I'm
with
cutting
you.
this. No idea. Basic geography, I have no fucking clue.
But still, like your point is, yes, there's a bunch of great teams in the league. There's going to be 2 more teams added in the next 2 to 3 seasons, and it's going to. It's part of the reason why we're in the boat we were in.
I mean, listen, the Suns don't win a ring in the next 2 years. I might have to hop back on the Seattle Supersonic wave, bro.
Well, I can tell you one thing: the Suns are most likely not winning a chip in the next 2 years.
Most likely.
Okay,
All right,
can you
wait till the
explain-
playoffs,
I
bro.
can't confirm anything completely in life.
Like does
Wait till
you?
this year,
The
bro.
Heat could fucking make it back to the finals.
The Heat-
that
Heat-
would be.
no way.
Oh my god.
No way.
Why aren't you afraid about the Suns blow up? I think like if any team legitimately is going to blow it up, I think the new owner syndrome with Ishbia, he swung for the fences, and if they don't win a championship in 2 of the years that he swung for the fences, why not blow it up? You just bought the team anyway. Start from scratch.
You can blow it up, but like Booker's not going to be the one to go.
But,
like,
what do you?
Where's
so,
the value coming? So you got a 7-year-old Kevin Durant getting $47 million a year.
People
You've
will
got
trade for
Bradley
him. People
Beal,
will
who's
trade for
probably not a top 50 player in the NBA,
He's
making
top 50.
$46 million a year, and then you've got Devin Booker and absolutely no picks.
I mean,
so like, where's the good coming out of that?
You guys just have to give up Booker to get even.
We're not. If we trade Devin Booker, we'll be the Brooklyn Nets essentially, and like I'm not trying to do that. Like, nah. I think they're smart enough to have a plan in place in case it doesn't work out.
I don't think they have a plan.
I think they do. I
I think the plan is blow that bitch up.
It's the same thing with like the Lakers. It's like the Lakers. If things really went south for the Lakers, like just trade AD. Like when you have one of those top players, that has to be your backup plan.
Welcome to the darkness. Listen, after the Randall injury, I have been all on what the next offseason is going to look like, how it's going to feel. You should just do it with the Suns right now. And I know it's going to be depressing because it's going to end with your boy Booker being traded to the Knicks.
He's not. I promise you, he's not getting traded to the Knicks. I can promise.
Okay.
You can play this clip again if he ends up getting traded, but.
We 100% will.
A lot of money to spend still. Like, are they going to be able to? Or are they so far?
Yeah, I would figure that like Tobias Harris contract getting off of that
It's huge. But
is gonna you can open up some cap space, and I'm sure they can maneuver some things around to open up more cap space. So I'm not like thinking like they're going to be screwed. So I think that there's probably moves to be made this offseason. What those moves are going to look like is like kind of up in the air still.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, that we really have to talk about is, like, if Joel Embiid is 100% right now, like, let's say Embiid is back. We see him playing. He's playing great basketball already. He's dominating. Cool. If he's fully healthy and he is actually healthy in the playoffs, which he has probably not been his entire career,
Yeah.
can they make a serious run?
Sure. But like, do you think with the team around him, that serious run is going to be in vain, or do you think that?
I think that if he's as good as we think he is, and if he goes into the playoffs once again fully healthy, doing what he's been doing, dominating, I don't see why they can't.
I mean, I can see the universe that you're saying where he goes on an all world type run, but like, I'm not going to bet on that compared to like a team like the Celtics, a team like the Bucks.
But I'm not. If I'm the Sixers with fully healthy Embiid, I'm not afraid of the Bucks.
I'm afraid of the Celtics. That's who they.
I'm afraid of the Celtics. The Celtics, everyone should be afraid of. But I think they're beatable. I think the Celtics are beatable.
Why are the Bucks this beatable team now?
You just said it before. They're 15-15 once Doc Rivers got there.
Yeah, but they still
playing
have
good basketball.
But they still have
Giannis and they have Dame.
Yes,
and the rest of their roster is mediocre.
I mean, Middleton.
Middleton, but he has not been able to figure it out. He's on and off injuries too. Like he hasn't been great. Brook is solid, but do you really trust him that much in the playoffs?
I don't know.
Sure. Like if you think about it, all right. Embiid and Giannis cancel each other out.
There too.
Maxey and Dame, I think they're on a similar level right now. I think Dame is better, but I think Maxey's still in the same like tier as him.
Yeah.
As far as a scorer, and then it's like the rest of the guys, but it's like if Embiid could be a 45-point a game guy, he could swing these series.
Bro, you're 45 points a game.
He's got 29 points right now in 22 minutes.
You said a game. I mean, he's averaging 45. He's not going to average 45.
He could average 40.
You could tell me he averages 40 in the playoffs.
Malachi Flynn scored 50 points last night. You don't think
that's one game?
Wait, no, 45 in the playoffs or 45?
No, about 40 in the playoffs. I think he could average 40.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs, not in
the regular season. No,
obviously not. But yeah, no, not in the playoffs, bro. Into the highest like 35.
We're at the point in Joel Embiid's career where he's been this great regular season player, but because, granted, give him the benefit of the doubt, injuries have been the reason why he's supposedly not been as good in the playoffs. But if he is fully healthy, I don't see why he can't go on a historic run, averaging 35, 40 points a game. Agree. I don't see why he couldn't.
I don't think so.
No one can stop him. He's unstoppable.
His team's not good enough around him. I
don't think they're like this great team around him, but I think if he can play at that level that we think he can, I think they're good enough. I think the team around him is good enough. I think they're well coached with Nick Nurse. Yeah. I think they have a bunch of solid guys around him. Maxey can be that two guy that can go off for a few games. Even Tobias Harris, he can win you a game or two in a round. He can have one of those games.
Dude, it just feels like the Celtics year. Like, as much as I hate to say it being a Knicks fan.
I think most likely, like, if I'm a gambling man, I would say, yeah, it's Celtics Nuggets.
Like, there hasn't been that many years where an NBA final or the NBA champion isn't like is this one guy going nuclear and like
I mean the year the Bucks did it was Giannis.
No, they had a solid team around him.
They did, but let's not act like he didn't have the 50. He was not.
Yeah, he was going
the best player by a mile in those finals. Like he had the 50-point closeout game.
But he's also going up against the Suns.
I don't know, man. Devin Booker was averaging like close to 40 in that finals. So.
Yeah, how's that ring look in Phoenix?
All right, buddy. But you said best player. Like Devin Booker might have been the best player in that series. That's all I'm saying.
Did they win a ring?
That's all I'm saying.
That's just a crazy take. That Devin Booker was better than Giannis in the 2022 finals.
That's nuts.
That's such a fucking homer take.
That's why I think this is something like Sure, can I see Embiid going crazy this year? Yes, but I don't think that team's nearly good enough for them to make a considerable run.
I just think maybe call me crazy, but there's something about the Celtics, and I get that they're really, really insanely talented and most likely going to win the East. But something in my gut just tells me they're not going to win the chip.
No, they're not.
I don't know what it is. I think they lose to Jokic. I think they lose to the Nuggets if they make the finals.
I think they lose. Personally, I think they lose to any Western team that makes it. I just think
any Western team.
Any Western
makes
team.
It. Yes. Like if
you think the Suns beat them.
Yes.
The Lakers.
No.
I mean, the Lakers
we saw what they did to the Lakers last year.
The Lakers aren't making the finals. That's the thing.
All right, so name the teams in the West that you think would beat the Celtics in the final.
I think the Thunder could. I know they just got blown out by them, but that was without SGA.
Yeah, it was without SGA, and was Jalen Williams playing?
Jalen Williams not playing.
All right, so what are you talking about? Yeah. So I'm saying OKC, obviously Denver. I'm gonna say
I think it's a year early for OKC, but hey.
I think the Clippers could beat them, and I think the Suns could beat them. I think those are the four. I think everybody else, like, I think the Timberwolves are not there. Like, Ant's not old enough, not mature enough yet. And the Kings, they don't really scare me to making the finals. So, like, yeah, I think those 4 teams in the West, anyone of those teams meets the Celtics, they can beat them. Anyone of those teams make the finals, I think will win the chip.
I think you're full.
I think they would seal
just
the deal.
to me, it's just.
I think Denver beats the Celtics. I think
I think Denver beats them, and
So
I think it's just Denver. I do think if the Clippers are fully healthy, they could give them a run. I think the Clippers, like, just because of Kawhi, like, we've just seen it from Kawhi so many times in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like he's one of those players that he kind of does his thing, goes through the regular season, has these great numbers, but no one really bats an eye because they're so used to it. And then he just turns this gear on in the playoffs, and it's like there's not too many players that I think at this point could do. I think Luka, as great as Luka is, I don't think the talent around him is enough for him to get past Jokic.
Yeah, but like this might sound crazy, but like I really like I could see a LeBron and Kyrie on the Cavs. That, like, remember those that finals where they were scoring 40 points each of them.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally see Luka and Kyrie doing that this year with the Mavericks. Like, I think, and maybe I'm gassing how good I think Luka is, but like I do think that's
bro's
the type
doing tricks on it, man.
but I do think that's crazy. That he's that kind of like he can be that kind of output in the playoffs this year.
Yo, come up for some air, bro.
Yeah,
like,
right?
yo, like, this Luka obsession is getting a little out of hand now. He's good, but he's not making it past the second round.
I don't know if you can say that.
He's just not. He could upset that first round, but I don't think he will. But he won't. He definitely won't make five finals.
There's a thing like I know the NBA has gotten a lot of shit because like some of these fans are talking about like the aura, but I think the aura of like teams matters, and you have to like I think that the aura of that Mavericks team
they don't have aura though. They don't have aura.
You know what team doesn't have? What team doesn't have aura? And that's your fucking Suns.
Actually, we have a lot of aura. but no, listen, I'll tell you teams who have aura. The Celtics have aura.
How? I don't think the Celtics have aura.
They definitely do.
I don't think they have as much aura as you're giving them credit for.
I think the Sixers have a little bit. I think the...
What?
Yeah,
The
The Sixers have aura, bro.
What is your definition of aura?
Yeah,
Just
you're dragging it out.
you watch them and like you feel good. In my opinion, I don't know. That's
a euphoric experience watching them.
Notice he didn't say
I don't
the
think the
Suns.
Knicks do. I don't.
When the Knicks are
You
fully
don't
healthy,
think
they
the
did.
Knicks-
I can tell you right. You're right. They don't have it right now. They do not.
They
What are you
don't.
talking about, bro? We just tied the game
All right,
with
they
a
don't
Dante
have
3.
aura right now.
They don't have aura.
If
Are
they
you
were
kidding
aura,
me?
You have a euphoric feeling when you watch this team play.
Fuck yeah! Yo, you're the worst. I'm the worst person to ask that question, dude.
Oh my god! If we're heading back to the East, what do you think about Orlando?
I'm fucking afraid of Paolo. I
Orlando's
saw
good.
Paolo take one dribble, cup dribble over the head, dunk through the lane, switch hands, and put it in with his and dunk it with his left. And I said, "Yep, that's it. That's it. You know what? Let's trade Jalen Brunson. Let's get draft picks. Let's do something because the East is over when that guy gets some type of decent team around him."
But his team is decent right now. But the thing
better-
with them is like they're so like good defensively, but they're kind of like these guys that kind of remind me of Josh Hart, where they're great defensive players. They do all the little things right, but offensively they just no.
Yeah.
They're lacking on offense right now.
That team is that team for Orlando is in a similar stage where OKC was last year.
Yeah, I mean, there's inconsistency from guys like Franz. Jalen Suggs is great defensively. John Isaac is great defensively off the bench.
Yeah.
But
The
they're
Magic
missing
have
something.
aura. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
sure. I don't think you said the Knicks don't have aura is kind of crazy.
They got the best theme song in the league. You know.
The next,
Or-
right?
no,
we
the
got the
Magic.
New York, New York,
Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Oh, that's just fire.
That is fire. No, it is fire. But I fucking hate that song.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I think what's the Magic right now? Like 4 or 5.
They're the
5 seed, right?
They're the 4, I thought.
I don't know. I think they could make a run if they could upset the Celtics early and then make a run to possibly the finals. But I don't know. They're my sleeper.
See, that's where
They're my sleeper.
I think that the Magic have a lot of talent. I think like Paolo's been great, but I just don't see any scenario in which they make a run to the
Interesting.
finals
All
because they just don't have the offensive power. Like they're a good defensive team. Paolo is great, but I think once the games get tight in the playoffs, like late game, I just don't think they're going to execute as well as teams like the Celtics or even like the Bucks. I don't think they'd beat the Heat in a series. I think the Heat have just too much experience. I think lack of experience would just.
I think we beat them in a series.
I think the Knicks beat them too. And I'm not trying to like shit on the Magic. I think they have a great future, but like I think right now like they don't have any experience in the playoffs. The game is completely different.
This time of like the year with like basketball, like you watch all the March Madness and you're like, oh shit, like anything could happen. Like a team with a little bit of talent can pull it off. But like in the NBA, it's still seven games. It's still series. Like you know what I mean? You have to like realize that comes out there. So like could the Magic steal a game at home? Could they send a game to overtime on the road? Sure, but like I just don't know if I could like anoint them and think they're going to make a finals run. Plus, like they're not going to beat the Knicks.
Yeah, I guess we'll go and see. But
now that we've talked about all that, I want to Wemby. I feel like we talked about him a lot last time we talked. But
that was the most heartbreaking game of my life.
The fact that Jalen Brunson had an efficient 61 points and Wemby was somehow like I'm a biased Knicks fan. Wemby was somehow still the best player on the court that night.
The best player on the court?
40 and 20, and it just felt like there was just nothing we could do against him in overtime.
You're saying he's the best player on the court. I say
he had 40, 20, and he completely controlled overtime. He completely controlled it.
Wemby on that night was the best person at their job in the world. I don't care what chef was cooking a meal in the kitchen. Like Wemby was on his shit that night, and he was just otherworldly, and it made me scared on where the NBA is fucking going because it also just made me realize I have 6'2" Jalen Brunson on a good day, and Julius Randle with no shoulder. And I have
OG Anunoby with no elbow.
OG with no elbow. And I got a bunch of draft picks. And I'm praying for Devin Booker. And meanwhile, guys like this are just popping into the fucking San Antonio Spurs ecosystem.
Did you see the stat? I think Stat Mamba on Twitter tweeted it like last night. He has already more blocks in NBA history than 86% of players who have ever played.
That's insane, bro.
Whoever has not even played a full season, he has more blocks than 86% of players all the time.
I think he'll go down as a top 3 player all the time. Personally, like he's not going to be better than Jordan or LeBron, but
no, he will.
No, he will not be.
Watch.
If he stays on the court, genuinely, if Wemby stays healthy, this guy is going to be the best player in the league for just as long as he plays.
Yeah,
he's just too tall. Like there's just nothing you can do. You can't teach the length and the height that he has. Like that clip where he was like the two guys on the fast break were going up for the fast break layup. They saw Wemby. He came out, ran away.
Dribbled away.
Okay, you ran right away. It's like there's just nothing you can do. You can't teach that. And it's like then another stat's like he's the only player in NBA history with 20 plus points per game, 10 plus rebounds per game, 3 plus blocks per game, and under 30 minutes per game. Like he's going to. People were saying also they were like he's gonna do to like the 5x5 to what Russell Westbrook did to like the triple double. He's going to get like a quadruple double like probably next year. He's probably gonna do it multiple times.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Like he had 9 blocks against Jokic.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
You can't box him out. Like I felt like that. The Knicks lost that game and it was heartbreaking. But at the same time, it didn't hurt me as bad as it should have because I was just there's just nothing we can do.
I was defeated.
The Knicks were boxing this dude out.
Yes, that's why.
It didn't matter. He just went right over them and then layup and just laid it in.
Bro, like I said, next season, if he's even better than what I'm expecting, but give him 2 more seasons and like another lottery pick and then some nice free agent signing, bro. But that's the team that every team is going to have to beat. Like I don't care. That's the team that you're going to put on the bulletin board in the beginning of the season and say, "Hey, this is the team we have to get to win the championship."
But what do you think? Like if you're the Spurs, they're going to have this topic. What's the best route for them? Is it to try and use some assets to trade for another star to put it alongside of him?
Yes.
Because if this draft is not good,
yes.
Do you really even want that pick?
Listen, I think they should trade for Trae Young. I think that
it's not a bad idea.
With DeJounte Murray proving that he can put up numbers without Trae Young on the court, I think that's an asset that the Hawks can move off of. Do I want to cap them so soon? Because I think that as soon as you put Trae Young with Wemby next season, like it's going to be like force the hand kind of like win now moves for the Spurs. And do I think that maybe another season with Wemby, like
just like being around young guys,
being around figuring it out might be better for his development? You know what I mean?
I agree. I actually kind of like that move because I think if you paired Trae Young with Wemby's so dominant defensively that it kind of can make up around the rim.
Yeah,
guys who are just gonna blow past Trae Young, but also like that pick and roll is terrifying.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Pick and roll is
it's like
terrifying.
It's the best duo in the league, arguably. If
no, that's fucking crazy.
Bro, the pick and roll, bro. Tracy's either
bro, you
pull
don't see
up
the
or
guys in
pass it.
Phoenix?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah,
yeah,
but like,
with Yusuf Nurkic, hell no, bro.
Here's the thing. I think that if Trae Young was traded to the Spurs with Wemby, they'd be a hell of a lot better. They'd still not be that great.
You think they made playoffs?
No, I think they'd be a hell of a lot better.
I think they'd make the playoffs for sure.
Oh, they're definitely making the playoffs.
But like, I don't think like, dude. Honestly, this dude Wemby, bro, he's OD.
But who else is on the Spurs right now though? They don't have like they have
Devin
literally a bunch of role
Vassell,
players
Vassell.
and Wemby. It's
Devin
like
Vassell, yeah.
they're not that good.
My boy
They're not-
Julian Champagny.
They're not winning a chip with that.
But as much as they're not good, we've seen like the teams that they can beat when they're fully healthy. Even with that, they beat the Suns without Wemby.
they be
Like they have some good pieces around. I think if you brought in a really good point guard like Trae Young, I'm gonna eat my. I think they'd be like a legitimate 45 win team at least.
45, sure. Like, I think
45.
I
If you
think
take
45.
Trae,
I think
year
45 is
two
a number.
Wemby.
44.
But it
is the
depends. Like,
number.
are they just giving up picks for
43,
Trae Young? Like, if they can keep these guys, if they can keep Devin Vassell, they keep Trey Jones as the backup point guard. Like,
Yeah.
they can keep these guys in places. Like, and then you get Wemby, who's just going to continue to get better. With Trae Young, I think Trae Young flourishes in that role because I think it's just a perfect pairing for him. And I think that they'd be scary.
They also need another shooter though. Like they would have to maybe sign like OG to a max extension or a max contract or something.
Stop.
Or like I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm not
that's the kind of mentality that I think that like it's why the Thunder didn't do anything. Because the Thunder have the core, the Thunder have the young guys, the Thunder have the stuff, and they're a couple pieces away. Like love Chet, but like let's be honest, like you're going to play Jokic and you're going to get worked at the 5 no matter who you put out there. You can put the other Jalen Williams out there and you're going to get worked on the 5. You could put who the hell did they just have? Do they have Muscala or something, right?
Yeah.
Did they pick up Muscala at the trade deadline?
I think they did.
Regardless, like
no, like I'm starting to look at that whole roster, and obviously Tatum will be pissed because like he doesn't have that many years being like elite left, so. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Bro, he's like 26, 27. Am I bugging? Am I bugging?
Yes, you're bugging.
Your prime is supposed to be like 28.
No.
Jason Tatum will be an elite player in this league until he's probably 35.
No, he will not.
34, sorry. 33,
31.
34. 31. Bro, Steph Curry's like 35.
Yeah,
Bro,
Steph Curry's generational.
LeBron's 41.
Bro, he just turned
LeBron's
26.
He's 26.
26. He got 3-4 more
He's
years.
20
4 more years left.
He's 20.
That's all I'm saying.
He's 26 in 3 weeks.
He's got 3 or 4 more years to win a ring, in my opinion. After that, he's not doing anything.
Bro, I don't think like LeBron and Jordan even won rings until they were like 28 or something.
Yeah.
No, but because like if you're the Celtics though, like you can't afford to keep all 4 of them.
Bro,
Yes.
Get your grimy feet out of the camera, bro. That's just OD.
Jules got the dogs out.
Bro. Nah, but I don't know. I do think if the Celtics cannot win with this roster, first of all, Joe Mazzulla's gone. That's the first thing. They're getting rid of Joe Mazzulla.
You think he's the first to go out like this offseason? If they don't
He's
win?
the easiest thing to
It's
go.
the coach is always the first to go because it's always the easiest.
But
Unless it's like Coach Pop or Spolstra or like one of these really like coaches who have made their mark and have like a reputation. Joe Mazzulla doesn't have any type of reputation.
He's only been there for two years, and like
Yeah.
you can't.
But there were questions about him last year. He's definitely improved as a coach this year for sure.
Yeah.
But also, you have this incredible team around you. I mean, it's not as impressive.
Yeah, but like I mean, I'm just saying. Like I'm not saying Tatum. Like let's not like pretend like I don't expect the Celtics to win. Like I think they're gonna win the finals or at least get to the finals and win. But like, if my point is to say like we don't know what will transpire within the next year. And like I said, the Trae Young thing right now seems low-hanging fruit for the Wemby thing. But like I said, Tatum, Booker, like I said in the previous podcast, Luka. If only one team's going to win the fucking championship at the end of the day. So there's another like handful of teams out there that need to worry about it.
I don't know. I don't really agree with like trading away like your middle-aged in their prime superstars, even if it's getting like assets back to try to blow it up. Like I'm not a fan of that. I think if you find like a gem, like they should be on. You should try to do everything to keep them on your team for their whole career.
Yes,
in my opinion. I like the way like Dirk, Kobe. Those are the guys that like I respect. I admire like. That the GMs clearly knew what they were doing because even Dirk got him a ring when he was a little older. So like, right, he was like 30. I don't know, low to mid 30s, and he won a ring. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of getting rid of like superstars when they're 26, 27, just because like your cap's not in a great space, and like I'd rather just go through a couple years maybe being bad and try to hit in the draft and. Maybe like get those bad contracts off in a few years and then start it all over.
But with a player like Booker, but with a player like Tatum, with those kind of guys, you're not gonna be in the lottery. You're not gonna like you're gonna be like making the playoffs for the most part. I would assume. I'd hope if you're.
Well, I mean, the Suns barely make the playoffs, but they do make the playoffs with Devin Booker.
I don't know. We were like the 1 seed 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
And then you got like and
then you got worse. I don't know how you added KD and Beal got worse.
Oh my god!
But still, like I see what you're saying, but like when is it? When have you seen enough? Like the Tatum thing, I think is a perfect example. Like we've seen the Jason Tatum thing being the young superstar for so long. That to be honest with you, if they don't do it this year, it's exhaustingly like mid for him to keep running out there and being like, what the fuck is like what the fuck are the Celtics doing at that point? So I think yes, like is it heartbreaking to trade your cornerstone franchise guy that you drafted? But as you said earlier about Mitch, you got to let go of these homegrown talent guys that you have on the team. Sometimes you got to know when you got to fold them at that point.
Yeah, with something like that, I mean, it comes to every team, and it's like, I feel like it's even with the management. Like Dame should have been traded from Portland years ago.
Exactly,
he should have, but they held on to him because he was they drafted him.
That's
he's a homegrown guy. And the thing is, it's like, and us Knicks fans are really we have not had a star like that, a homegrown star, admittedly, but when you have a guy like that, you often think that he's better than he is, and I'm guilty of it as anyone. I thought that RJ, I thought IQ, I thought all these guys were like, no, I wouldn't trade him for anyone. But at the end of the day, we've seen like the Knicks trade makes sense when OG was on the court. Obviously, he's hurt now, so it sucks. But it's like, holy shit! Like they got a player who's better than RJ Barrett, and it paid off. Like
the Dame thing you said brings it really rings true because like look where the Trailblazers are right now. If they traded Dame 2 years ago. Like
they would have got so much more.
They would have gotten so much more. And now, listen, I still hold out hope for Scoot because, like, I think he's better than what he's doing.
I think he'll be all right.
But at the same time, like it's if I'm a Trailblazers fan, I'm not. There's very little positivity going through this season that like I'm actually going to be optimistic about what happens next year or what happens going forward. And we just traded our franchise cornerstone away. After he was bitching and moaning about getting out because he wanted to win. Now, like yes, did they sell a lot of Dame Lillard and Dame time like jerseys and shirts and all that stuff? Sure, but like at some point you have to know when to like you can't just cash out like and get Scoot and watch what happens.
I don't know. I mean, the Trailblazers aren't doing anything. Like they could easily. I think they have the cap. They're not paying anybody really. Like they could just trade for someone. They could have taken advantage of Damian Lillard's situation before, like he, just was a one man show. But like, and all of us like knew like, get Dame out of Portland because he wasn't fucking doing anything. Like they were missing the playoffs. Like if you're making the playoffs, like you're a little close. If you're missing the playoffs, like obviously, even if the Suns were missing the playoffs right now. with this team, I'd be like, sure, maybe try to trade Devin Booker, but they're not.
No, but that's
why it comes down to what happens in this playoffs.
It doesn't
if
even
the
matter.
Suns go to the Western Conference Finals, they go to the finals. Obviously, you're not trading Devin Booker.
But if
you guys lose in the first round to OKC, things are gonna get a little dicey.
But if they make the second round and lose to like a hard fought battle like the Clippers or the Nuggets, like are you kidding me? You're still close.
That's true. Like I do think it comes down to how you lose.
It all depends on how you lose. And like, listen, like
if we get swept, I might be on that Devin Booker trade wagon. Low key. If we get swept or like gentlemen swept, like then I'll start talking. But that's not gonna happen. So so like I don't know. I think,
but like even like think about the years. Like I said, I wasn't like we didn't have the podcast. Like we didn't like this. Like none of this conversation was being had. But like when it was CJ and Dame. Did you really think the Clippers had the Trailblazers had a chance?
No. I mean, but you couldn't do anything because they were making runs to the Western Conference Finals because
LaMarcus
teams were just not as good and there were injuries and stuff like that.
LaMarcus Aldridge was him, but like it was Dame, CJ, and LaMarcus, right? Like those were the three.
Did they have the Aldridge?
I'm pretty sure
Aldridge's prime in that time. I forgot.
I don't think Dame. No, I think Dame was still pretty young when.
I think I think they missed each other. Like their primes missed each other. I think he was still probably there was a year or two they were on the team together, but nonetheless, like those teams were not taken seriously. Granted, the Warriors like dominated the league for a while, but like that team was not taken seriously enough for them to go out there and be like for them to keep running it back. Now, listen, like could you have said? When your two best players are CJ and Dame, and you're like, hey, let's like, if you blew it up right there, you'd call them crazy for blowing it up, like in the midst of all the success they were having. But still, like, you got to see the track you're going on, which is why I see the track like I seem like these teams that can't win that all these teams can't win. One of them has to blow it up.
Yeah. But like
at least one.
All this talk kind of makes me think. I wanted to talk about like the OG like contract rumors because it kind of released yesterday, or the day before, and like this conversation kind of like I feel like it goes hand in hand with it because a lot of teams recently have made mistakes, and some teams have been able to get out of it, like the Wizards with the Bradley Beal contract. Thank you, Phoenix. But like look at the Bulls and look at what they did with Levine and Bill Simmons and Ryan Marcillo were talking about. This is like. It's getting to the point where protecting the asset for some of these guys and you have to pay them so much is not even worth it at this point.
Exactly.
Because you can't move off of them. Like, no one wants that Zach LaVine contract. No one wants him.
No, 100%.
And it's like, I'm just afraid with the Knicks. Like, I was looking at it and it's like, if he gets, was it 4 for 150? That's about 37.5 per year. Some of the similar players that would be in that contract range are... Oh, I have it.
So isn't it Tobias?
Tobias is making like more than that.
That's insane.
Let me find it.
4 for 150 is nuts.
Tobias Harris making more than $40 million a year is absolutely
to never make an All-Star game.
Absolutely, like not even close.
I mean, he's close-ish.
I don't know, man. He's averaging like 17 and 6 or something like that.
I don't know, 17. He's averaging 17.
What do you think? Is that higher?
I think it's less than that. No, you don't think it would be?
Let me check.
But still, like I don't know. I don't know about paying OG. Like I need to see some more him to be healthier, and like stay on the court.
Yeah. Well, so here we go.
17 and 6.
I didn't even look. I swear, 17.2, 6.4. Bro, I'm fucking him with the guesses.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So basically,
crazy.
Tim Cato of The Athletic, he tweeted that 4 years, $150 million was what feels to be a reasonable contract extension for OG Anunoby, and he even said like some people think it should be more.
Yeah, 50 million.
So like if you break it down, like that's 37.5 per year, which in today's NBA is not crazy. Guys who are making similar money to him right now: Klay Thompson, Rudy Gobert, Fred VanVleet, Tobias Harris, Siakam, Drew Holiday.
I think that's it. I think that's fair value.
I think that's fair value as well. The thing that scares me with OG is not the money. It's you can't pay this guy if he's going to play 45 games a year.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
Can't.
You don't.
I know, and it's like the risk. Like to me, it's like if he doesn't come back, or if he does not come back, and you look at like the track record, he has not really played many games outside of maybe one season. In the past like 4 or 5 seasons, he's been below like 60 games. I think 4 out of the 5 times. Like,
wow.
That has to there has to be some sort of a stipulation where it's like there has to be like a game's minimum, or
the
something.
like that 150 is going to be like incentive laden. Like
it has to be, right?
You can't just give him like 4 years 150 and be like, hey, here's all this guaranteed money for you.
Exactly. And
it's going to be mostly guaranteed because that's how the NBA works. But like still like,
and it's got to be a descending contract, which the Knicks have done a good job of structuring contracts well.
Yes.
They have in the new regime. They've done a really good job of structuring these contracts well. A lot of them are descending.
Mm-hmm.
There's team options that are helping them get out of things.
Jalen
Brunson just made a massive 3 to go up by 10. Holy shit!
Let's fucking go.
I told you we're back. We're so fucking back.
I think the Kings lost badly. So
yeah. Are they they might? They're what, the 7th seed? Are they right behind the Suns?
Yeah, them and the Pelicans are like right behind 7, like literally 0.5.
Damn, Jules, thanks for becoming a Knicks fan before Devin Booker joins us.
Yeah. If Devin Booker was a Knick, would you root for the Knicks?
Imagine that team next year.
For sure. I mean,
he's your favorite player.
I would be a fan of wherever he goes.
Devin, what's his middle name? Armani?
Devin Armani Booker.
He's doing
Armani.
backflips on it right now.
You know, it's like mid-postseason when Julian's just tweeting out Devin Armani Booker. Like, he has nothing else. He's like, Devin Armani Booker. They run their Google to get his middle name.
What kind of dog does Devin Booker have?
I know his name is Haven, and it's black.
Crazy.
I don't know what type.
I'm an insane NBA fan, and I know it's a Cane Corso, but the fact that you know the fucking dog's name is
bro,
insanity.
Haven. No, you know why? Because he's releasing the sneaker.
I know.
It comes out April 6th. They're called the Havens that are all black, like his dog.
Are you getting it?
I'm gonna try it too. Yeah.
All right.
Good luck on the sneakers.
Before we wrap this up,
pick one. We'll do an episode before the playoffs start, like once the seeding is like done and everything.
Bet.
If you had to pick one team that would be like you think could be a sleeper that could actually make a run in each conference, what would the teams be?
It's the Knicks, baby. It's the fucking
What about the West? I'm more interested in the West because I feel like the West is a little more open. Mavericks.
I'm gonna go Pelicans.
I was gonna say Pelicans intrigue me.
I love that pick.
I think they're really. I think they're a good team. Like
pick.
they're just so well balanced, and they have that. Zion is that guy.
And Zion's on that Ozempic right now.
Zion has been playing like a top 15, 20 player in the league right now.
I do like the Pelicans.
He has been playing great basketball.
Dude,
he looks like he's kind of looking like college Zion a little bit again.
Dude, I am floored by how Zion looks. I thought it was going to be all downhill.
Hey, yo, bro.
He said he kind of cute.
Bro, he looks like college Zion again almost.
I know. It's
he's
crazy.
Compared to how like all the press coming from the in-season tournament was like he's breathing heavy on the court. Like you could tell he was out of shape, and then like to see this and how he's just like almost like jumping through the roof of the state.
Crazy, bro. And they said apparently he's lost like 25 pounds.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts.
To lose that weight in season is pretty impressive. Like obviously you're playing like every 3 days, which is a lot, but I'm assuming it has to be diet.
It's got to be,
It's got to be diet.
He's probably just eating meat and vegetables.
Damn, you see,
he's probably got a diet.
That's why this league's so fucking crazy because like that, you have that team who has the guy like Zion who like you could tell me that guy goes on a similar type like the Embiid-esque run. You could tell me Zion Williamson, and don't say this is crazy, could average 40 points a game in the postseason, and I'd be like,
come on, man.
Yo.
Come on.
I can see it.
Come on, man.
Dream West Finals matchup is Mavs Pelicans.
Oh, bro.
Zion versus Luka.
Zion versus Luka.
I don't think you realize how much 40 points is.
I know.
To average that is like dropping 51 game, and then you have to score 30 the next game. Like, that's averaging 40. And you said Joel can average 45.
Yes, Joel could average 40. Closer to 40, but he could average 45.
Joel and Zion gotta stop.
Would you be shocked if I told you that Zion Williamson, like, floor, like you could not possibly see a universe where Zion Williamson averages 40 in the playoffs?
I mean, there's a possible universe, but
okay.
But
let's put it this way.
I think like 32 to 34 is like way more.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
is that more likely? Yes, but like, could you see a universe like there are only like a handful of players that you could see that? I think Luka, you could say would average 40 in the playoffs.
I could see that. Obviously,
Booker.
I think Booker. Yes,
I could already Booker, have. Of course.
So, like, I think Booker. Yeah, sure. Sure, Booker.
What about Tatum? I can't see where
I can't
we're
see
Tatum.
Tatum.
Yeah.
100%. I can't see Tatum. You could tell me like as crazy as it sounds, like as much as I was shitting on him last podcast, but like LeBron averages 40 in the playoffs.
I mean,
I
can see it.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, shit, Unk.
I can see it. Yeah.
But
Yeah, LeBron's just gonna go like a calm like 36, like 12, and like 7.
yeah, no,
like that.
it's like average.
Him and AD are just gonna carry. The Lakers have been playing really well too as of late.
Yeah, you could, but like then you could also see like I can't see Brunson.
Brunson, I can see averaging like 35. I don't. 40 is too.
Yeah,
He's too little for.
40 is insane.
He's
So,
too
like
tiny.
Giannis could average 40.
Yeah.
I think like Embiid, Jokic could but won't.
Yeah, he just doesn't give a shit.
Right.
He'll average 20 assists too.
Yeah. I actually saw something on, completely unrelated to that, but I saw something on First Take today. Like they were talking about who would you trust more in the playoffs, right with how they're playing right now, Lakers or Suns, and like
Lakers.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I don't. Like,
Have you?
I would trust the Suns more. It's not. It's just because I trust Booker more than I trust AD.
yeah, but AD's played like.
And I trust Kevin Durant in the play. Like,
I've watched
Booker,
enough.
Bro, Booker's
I've
like,
watched enough like NBA to see like how teams are treating AD. Like
just like the worst MVP ever.
you know,
It's
This is just one of the worst takes
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Gilbert is on drugs. or
Gilbert
something.
Arenas and Shaq get paid to just make shit takes at this point. Shaq said Angel Reese was the best LSU athlete of all time.
Yo, and then
Now, Shaq does. He says some weird. He like says some crazy.
yeah. He also
shit.
said the Magic are gonna sweep the Knicks.
Oh,
And,
he-
Julian,
yeah.
and Julian saw that. He's like,
What a surprise!
Word.
What a surprise that Shaq, whose jersey number is retired for the Magic, is
The Magic fan.
is so thinking the Magic are going to sweep. That's just that's another just awful take.
yeah.
Like you could convince me that the Knicks without Randall and OG lose to the Magic for sure, but getting swept, they beat them by like 30 without OG and Randall and Mitch like 3 weeks ago.
I don't
Yeah,
understand
I don't
like
know,
the like why people like why that take was had. But
Yeah,
still,
it's just
Yeah.
bad. The world needed the JJ Redick LeBron podcast in the worst way.
yes, because I
Actually
think
talking about basketball.
thank God.
They actually
Yeah.
talk like too much in depth about basketball that I'm just like,
and then
it's
who
crazy.
And then
Yeah.
like
how do you feel about these sets?
and then Twitter decides
It's like,
to
okay.
drag my boy Ryan Russillo after he said that as you should turn off the LSU Iowa game to watch Orlando versus Portland, which is what I did because I had enough of the women's basketball. Listen, it's not that it's women's basketball; it's that it's NCAA basketball, and
No,
I'll be
it's
managing
women's
it.
basketball. That shit is brutal sometimes.
Caitlin Clark is OD though.
She's OD. She's like the exception, but like I watched like 3 straight missed layups that I'm like, bro, if I was on the court, I'd make one of those. Or I make one of those.
Wait,
Like,
did you see the numbers though from that LSU Iowa game?
12 something.
It was
million.
more than every NBA game last year. Than besides one apparently, it was more
nuts.
than I think every college football game, regular season football game outside of like Ohio State, Michigan.
Wow.
12.3 is crazy numbers. Crazy.
I was watching. I just wanted to see Caitlin Clark go off, honestly, and
She did.
and the beef from last year, obviously. But
Yeah.
like,
The
but
Haley Van Lith memes were too funny. That was like someone said though, they're like, you know that like women's basketball is getting put more on the map because these girls are getting roasted like the NBA players are getting roasted.
Like, and Russillo actually said this on his podcast, and I think this is true. Like, the next step of the debate is going to be: is this better than men's college basketball? Is
No.
this, like, are you going to start like? Is this leading? Like, this is the peak for women's college basketball right now. And listen,
sure.
I'm
It is.
not shitting on women's college basketball at all.
I am.
Like, I think that this is the peak of where it is, and for people to start speculating that it's going to overtake the men's game, if you're going to start
won't.
filling out women's brackets next year,
I won't.
like with like what?
I won't.
But like my point is
Hating
like
OG.
my point is like that like that's the type of like expectations that are going to be placed on it, and I don't think it's like I think that it's
I just think it's like it's everyone's it's like the women are always saying this, like Kelsey Plum is like always talking about like this stuff. It's like I think like people who really just enjoy basketball are gonna watch women's basketball,
Of course.
regardless. They
Yes.
just basketball is basketball at the end of the day,
of course.
But like the women's game, like I also wonder is the star power of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, is it going to carry over to the WNBA, or is it just the college has like a little bit more aura to it, where there's something a little bit different about it, and the WNBA, like, I don't know, is it going to translate? Because we've seen the best, like Sabrina Ionescu's done a good job.
I think
She's stayed
Clark,
relevant.
I think
Caitlin Clark does change it.
Caitlin Clark will, like, it's just like
Angel Reese, can she change it? I don't think that she herself is going to change it.
It's going to come down to Caitlin Clark for sure.
I think Caitlin Clark herself can change it. I think that this, like, whatever draft class comes in with Caitlin, Angel Reese, and everybody else, like, I think that like it'll change it. Mostly it's.
But it's like the thing is, it's like people are also saying, it's like people just want to watch a good product. Caitlin Clark pulling up from 30
is a good
with
product.
a hand in her face, stepping back. That's a good product. Like, that's why if you build it, they will come. If there are girls playing at the level of Caitlin Clark, people are going to watch every single game. They're going to watch every game. But right now, like, the WNBA, is it good quality basketball? Yes. We have not had the flashy aspect that men's basketball has brought.
Right.
Like Steph Curry, LeBron. Like LeBron's doing these crazy dunks. Like there's a flashiness to it and entertainment that is why people want to watch men's basketball. But like Caitlin Clark, the shit she does, people will watch it.
Yeah,
people want to watch it. People are talking about it.
Like, because the girls were always complaining how like, oh, like guys should watch our game. Like that those viewers show. Yeah. Oh, I mean, some of them are. You know, like the TV hosts, but like that. Those numbers just show like men are willing to watch like women's. Like they it's not a gender thing. Like I just gotta like what I'm watching. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's the star power part of it, and that's
what they've been missing.
But that's for me why the debate about NBA versus NCAA, just the men's game itself, is tough because everybody says, "Oh, I like college basketball more. They play harder." All this kind of BS. No,
they're just worse and it looks sloppier.
Yes, and like they look like they're playing harder, but fine. But what sells tickets? What is going to be sold out there? What's the best product is players like Steph Curry, players like LeBron, players like KD just transcending the game. Like it's the same game they're playing at the lower levels. Like at the same sets that are being run for men are for the NBA players are being run in college. It's just how they're executing it and how some of these players are transcending that stuff is just beyond fathomable in the NBA. And I think that Caitlin Clark's bringing that to the women's game because some of the shit that you run for them, like you can't run Caitlin Clark's like pull up three. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't
like
work.
that meme of Haley Van Lith, like just turn around like this. That is literally what defenders were doing with LeBron and Steph. Like some people you just can't guard.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't do anything with that.
But it's cool to see it though, because women's basketball desperately needed someone like Caitlin Clark. Honestly,
can we talk about how hot Cameron Brink and Kaylee Van Lith are?
Now, this is the part of the podcast where Julian rates 20-year-old girls.
hey, man.
He has a Tate McRae take for you guys too.
My God. You know. Hey, that's a good place to end it.
Cam Brink. Look up the name.
She's going to be the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, she's disgusting.
Defensive player of the year this year.
Yeah.
Good at
also the hottest player in the league.
Go Knicks.